Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind. We're in studio today with Dr. Jenny and myself again.
Good morning.
We have a milestone that we reached.
We do?
Yeah.
A milestone?
Yep.
A mile is a long
500 downloads.
Oh, really?
Yep. We hit 500 downloads yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
So we're celebrating the 500 download.
Yeah, we're the 500 Club.
Yep, we are.
Very
We got the badge from Buzzsprout and everything yesterday.
Oh, nice. Can we have an applause?
Yeah, we sure can.
I need you to get with it.
500 downloads.
Very nice.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
But here we are. Another milestone. You ready for another milestone?
Yeah.
My book's on Amazon.
Oh, applause.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Long time coming.
Sales Energy Method. Get yours. It's a sales book. It teaches you how to sell. Building relationships. It actually can be used for not just sales. It can be used for personal relationships that you need to work on and build. If you read and understand the entire book, you'll see that it's more than just a sales book. It's a relationship building book.
Of course. I would agree with that 100%. You can utilize the method in a multitude of ways in your personal life, in your business life, for sure. Both.
I think there's going to be a series of books, and I think one of the things I'll do is I'll actually put that on in a little bit of a different format and put it out on a relationship book too, because it's a great way to learn to build relationships. But book 2 is going to be coming out here before long in the series, the Sales Energy Method, and I'm probably going to do an online seminar to teach people.
Nice.
And so it's going to be fun, engaging, and man, it will change your life if you can learn to do the functions of it.
Right. Yep.
It's a great way. It's a great way to operate life.
Yeah, I think for my commentary on it is, it goes back to kind of what we're trying to do here is take the human and teach them how to become more of their natural being, which is compassionate and loving and connect energetically, rather than living in an automatic robotic style.
I was pretty impressed by one of the guys I let read the partial manuscript, and he said, "You know what I took away from that the most?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Realizing that everybody has common ground."
Exactly.
And I was like, "Oh, that's a good takeaway. That was unintentional." There wasn't even in there. But he was like, "Yeah, everybody has common ground one way or another." That's how we got into the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon conversation that day. But it's out there. It's called Sales Energy Method. It's on Kindle and Amazon. Check her out if you'd like to. Read it and leave me a review. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
And if you got any questions, don't hesitate to give me a ring-a-ling-ding message.
Ring-a-ling-ding.
My author page, you can message me through the author's page on Amazon.
Yeah.
And you can see my beautifully AI-generated photo that makes me look 20 years younger. I put my photo through AI and asked them, all I did was tell them to smooth my skin and change the lighting. And it came up with this thing that looked like I was 20 years younger.
No, that's not all it did. I feel like it does not.
When I get a good picture, I'll change the photo.
I feel like
But-
it does not look like you at all. I'm like, who is this man?
But it brings me to my topic today.
Do tell.
Do you ever look in the mirror and say to yourself, who am I?
All the time.
And when we do that, because this is where I'm at today. Like this morning I was in the shower, and when I'm in the shower, that's everybody probably knows by now, that's when I kind of do my self-check work. And I have, over the course of my years, changed so many hats. There's my S-hole going off. Changed so many hats that sometimes you can make yourself not know who you are. And because here's the reality. I've been, oh my gosh, I have been a farm worker. I have been, over the course of the years, in sales. I've worked, had insurance jobs. I've had manager jobs. I've owned my own business. I've had all these things throughout the course of the years. And here I am now, a published author too. And I'm liking the author thing. It's really fun. My life experience has been very vast in comparison to most people my age. And
I agree.
And putting that down on paper is a very rewarding feeling. It feels good.
Yeah.
And I hope that book, whoever, whenever, however, can change one person's life, then I've done my job.
Right.
And because that's where I'm at with it. And so this morning I was asking myself, who am I now? Here I am. I'm in my 50s.
The beautiful thing about it is that you can, you can be whoever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Identity can be whatever character you want to be now.
Yeah, you can be whatever noun or pronoun you want to be.
That's right. That's the beauty of it.
And, that picture last night really
hole.
rattled that cage for me.
Yeah. Also.
I was like, damn, that really don't look like me. But I was like, I can see me in it, but I don't see me in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it made me say to myself, dang, is that how it saw me when I took that picture?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't see myself that way.
But who out there does?
Right.
Who's going to be able to look at that picture and say, oh, that looks exactly like you?
It removed every forehead wrinkle I had.
Because every perspective is looking through a different lens.
Right.
So you may very well look exactly like that to somebody somewhere.
Right. So I let one of the people that worked for this read the manuscript before I had published it, and it was a partial manuscript, and her response was, I see this method work in action every single day, but I give it to our other coworker to read, and with it, this is what she said. And I told her, just imagine that it's not James writing that.
Yeah.
Because you need to put yourself into the position and not imagine him doing it, but imagine yourself doing it. And I was like, well, that's great advice. But it comes down to that. How do they see themselves? How do you see yourself? How do I see myself? And it can be a deep rabbit hole.
Right. And we talked about that a little bit this morning with me, because I'm in this weird rabbit hole because I'm going through a little phase in my life where I'm like, what is my purpose exactly now? What
She's so blind to her own purpose. It's funny.
what is the point of all this? What is my purpose? What am I doing?
The faux pas request. What is my purpose?
And I, for a moment, am uncertain on what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. And you said to me, you don't see what you do. And you're right. I can't see myself the way you see me. I don't see myself the way other people see me. I see myself completely different. I don't really see me doing much of anything. And so I've gotten a little bit confused on my journey along the way. So rediscovery.
Yeah.
I'm in a process of kind of a rediscovery of who I am now, and what am I doing?
You're becoming an author as well.
I am, yeah.
That's another hat you're going to put on that head.
Yeah, I reckon. But I mean, that's not really who I am.
No, I agree.
Who am
I agree.
I?
That's who you're being at the moment.
That's one of the characters that I'm playing. But who am I? What am I?
In this play of life.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool about it is, like you said, you don't have to label yourself.
Right.
You can be whoever
okay.
you want to be whenever you want to be it.
Exactly. It's
And
okay.
that's okay to do. And so when you look at yourself, like, we used to hear this a lot from people, from our peers, when we were younger, is, back in the day when we were in high school, it was about go out and go get your degree in business and go get your degree in accounting. And then the market got so saturated with degrees, and those degrees are useless anymore. And then it went into the tech schools, and then it went into the other things. And when you go to, and then you run into those old people from high school, and they're not happy with who they are, where they are. And it can be an eye-opening experience, because they were so focused on what society taught them they were supposed to be. They quit being who they are.
Yes.
And finding their own inner talents.
Right.
And manifesting those. And man, it's been a pretty fun journey for me these last few weeks of doing this writing and being able to experience that I am being right now a writer. And guess what? Tomorrow I can go be a diesel mechanic.
Yeah. And I feel like the journey that I'm on, it's not about me not knowing who I am. It's about figuring out what character I want to play now.
Yeah. And one of the things that made me write this book was, and the reason why I'm still bringing it up is because there's things that's helping me go through this process that come up. Is the other day I got asked by my intern, so how many sales have you done in your career with this company?
Oh, with the company. Okay. I was going to say, wow. Does he mean like in your whole life? Because.
And so I was like, it's a very good question. So I went back and looked, because I know what I did at the last property.
Right.
And so I went back and looked here, and I officially hit 455 sales.
In just this building, or across your
career for this company?
Career for this company.
And that generates a revenue of $151 million.
Yeah, you put some figures out there in the last podcast we did.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a big statement. Because that's a very valuable tool to have, and realizing that if you can do that kind of stuff, the commissions and the money is nice, and you can. And what's really cool about it is you develop some really cool relationships along the way.
So where?
And then you identify.
Money?
And then you identify. I'm not taking it down that road.
I'm just jabbing with you.
And then you identify yourself as wow, I have been pretty successful in this, because I've just been having fun. I love sales. I love doing the sales part. I always love selling. And no matter what, in my own business, and when I was selling insurance, when I did part-time car sales, when I drove for Schwann's on the weekends, there was many things that I've done along the way as second jobs that I enjoyed more than I did my full-time job. Right. And it's a lot of fun. I love selling things, because I think the best part of it for me is the relationships that you build. Like I remember when I was writing this book, I remember back when I was doing Schwann's on Saturday, every other Saturday, actually. That's where the home Schwann's was the, what's that? Instacart of the 80s and 90s, where they come to your door and bring food to your door. You can order right there out of the catalog.
Yeah, the kids love the chicken.
The chicken nuggets.
Strips.
Yeah. Oh.
The chicken strips.
And I could go to any of my customers, because I'd get to know them at a personal level just by talking to them along the way, blah, 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 blah. I could, like, if we had contests, I could go to them and say, hey, I got a contest. What are we going to do today? And they'd be like, well, what's your goal? And I'm like, okay, I got to reach this dollar amount today, blah, 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 blah. And they would always help me out with it because of the relationship. Right. And it creates a camaraderie. Sure. Yeah, definitely. A co-purpose in creating success. Yeah. And that's where
co-creation at its best.
And that's what I discovered this morning in the shower, is who I am is I am that guy that can show people how to do that in their life.
Do you have two thumbs? Listen.
Who has two thumbs and can do that? This guy.
If we had video up and running, you would have seen this big Cheshire cat grin and two thumbs go up.
But So that's where it was kind of an epiphanal thing for me, because I don't have to go through my life trying to be what everybody else wants me to be. I can go through my life being what I want to be.
Absolutely.
Now, there are times in your life when you agree to do things that you have to kind of morph into being something that somebody else wants you to be when you have a mutual agreement, but you can still find a way to be yourself within it.
Absolutely. I agree.
And that's where my discovery process has been going lately. And then it's kind of funny because it fell right into place when we had the conversation about you this morning.
Yeah.
And yesterday, when you asked me, I don't know what my purpose is anymore. And it's obvious to me, and probably everybody around you, if you were to go up and ask them what you do for them, they would tell you all the same thing. And you identifying that, they're all going to tell you that you create a stability and intelligence level that gives them the confidence to be who they are. Pretty much. And you will also chastise them when they get out of line.
I don't chastise. That's kind of a hard word. I just maintain accountability. Like, I'm going to call you on your nonsense.
Your shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, if you come to me asking a question, make sure you want the answer. And I always ask that first because I'm going to pull out those things that you're not being accountable for.
And remove all filters.
And sometimes they're uncomfortable and people don't like it, but that's just who I am. That's
that is
what
who you
I
are.
do.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what?
That's just part of what
That's
I do.
who you are?
It's part of what I do.
I agree. So
it's kind of like when you have a thorn stuck in your foot, it hurts like hell when you pull it out, and it hurts like hell with it being in there.
But it sure feels good when it comes out.
Golly gee, it feels really amazing whenever you get it out.
Yeah,
and you may have to dig a little bit, and the digging is excruciating, but when you finally get it out, the relief is just amazing. And working on all of these different things we've talked about in our podcasts are kind of that way.
Agreed.
It is uncomfortable to have me help you dig that thorn out.
Yeah.
But once we do, it's life-changing.
So your purpose is a shovel?
I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm just one big shovel. A shit shoveler.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You bring the shit right out.
I bring this shit out, man.
And so when you are out there and if you're going through the same kind of dilemma, it's okay to answer yourself truly. Ask yourself the questions of what is my purpose today? What is it that I'm going to bring to the table to this universe today? What am I going to learn today? What part of what script am I going to be involved in today? It's okay to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
And come up with a good, solid daily ritual that'll do that, and that will give you not saying it's going to give you right away. It can, your explanation of who you are right there, but it will develop over time. And know that you need to be who you are and not what everybody else wants you or you think everybody else wants you to be.
Yeah, and some of the questions that you can ask to set yourself up to receive the information that is always being given to you, whether you can hear it, see it, or not, would be these. And this is what works for me. So when I find myself in the place that I'm at now, I before I go out into the world, I say to myself, okay, I'm a little confused about what my purpose is. So please reveal to me what is my purpose today, and help me see that and remove any beliefs, patterns, or programs that might be in the way that would prevent me from being able to see what you're trying to show me.
Agreed. And
kind of word it in that way. And then just pay attention to when you go out. And also, putting in there that your intention, because you want to set clear intentions.
Yes.
My intention is to go through my day rediscovering what my purpose is in alignment with my enjoyment.
Yes.
Without expectation of how it must look.
Correct.
So that's how I go about it. And so then what happens is I will go out without really any expectation. I'll go out of my door, and inevitably what happens is, something will happen. Somebody will come along and I'll have an interaction, and it will end up being a very fulfilling or very fun interaction, whether it be with you as my human or stranger or another person. And it validates what my purpose was today. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that was my purpose today. All right, done. I can go home now and
time to go home.
Knit on my couch.
Knit, crochet me a sweater.
Crochet some.
Well, what I see a lot of is people that get confused about life, and they systematically confused. I want to say it systematically because I see it a ton, where situations will happen and they systematically change who they are because of an instance.
Yeah, that is a trip up place.
Yep.
You begin to change who you are because you think you've got to look a certain way, or you've got to be a certain way, or you've got to act a certain way. 9 times out of 10, you're doing it not because that's what really must happen, but because that's a story that you've told yourself based on how you think somebody else sees you or is interpreting you.
Right.
And that story is usually not correct.
Correct.
That story is usually a lie, because you've not, I promise you, if you go to that person and you ask them, I think you think this about me, is that true? They will let you know that, oh my God, no, that's farthest thing from what I was thinking in the first place. And so then you can get to a place where you're like, you fucking monkey mind, I'm going to kick your ass.
Here's a banana,
beep,
shut
beep,
up.
Beep, beep, beep. And then you realize that, your monkey mind is telling you stories that are not even true.
Yeah.
And you're creating an entire reality based on a lie or a mistruth.
Yeah, it can be from many things, from your beliefs, historical, from society.
And that's why, we are such firm believers on working with your belief system and that structure, and making sure that you've got a really clean template that you're coming from.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you view your reality and you think, golly, this is not where I thought I was going to be. I'm fed up. I'm tired of it. When you talk about recreating a new reality, it's just really important to make sure your definitions are up to speed. Make sure your beliefs are up to speed. Update your processing system and find that steps or whatever that procedure looks like for you.
Yeah.
Whatever permission slips you need to put in place, whatever fairy tales you need to temporarily put in place is just as valid. And so let me go here for a second.
Okay.
Real quick.
No, you're good.
I will pretend.
Fuck.
He just hit his funny bone, and it's not funny at all on the table.
Mama. That hurt. Oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
If it's okay for your monkey mind to tell you a lie about what you think somebody else thinks about you, then it is okay for you to counter that lie with a made up daydream, if you will, to make it feel better.
Yeah, agree.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be categorized as a lie. It can be categorized as, well, this is what I am gonna create in my fairy tale bubble of playing the game. Like I've said before, okay, what if life looked like this? And then follow that and hold on to that for a minute. It's not a lie. It's playing the what if game of creating that reality that you would really like to see come into existence.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. It's a really fun game too.
Yeah. I can see where it'd be really fun.
And it, allowing yourself to be childlike in it and daydream, man. Pretend.
Yeah. That's a really good example, actually, of what happened in explaining just that. I had somebody come up to me and said, "Hey, this guy or this person wants me to." She was talking about her son. Her son wants to be her POA, wants to take over her finances and stuff. My son wants me to do this, and I said, "Well, so imagine this. Imagine that he has full control, because she was going the opposite with it. He just wants the money to see where it is, so he can, blah 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 blah, going through all this negative stuff." I said, "Well, imagine this. Maybe he wants to take the money and make you more money with it.
Right.
Make it okay. Imagine the good parts.
Right.
And make it more about who it is that you want to be in it, not about who you think everybody thinks you all should be in it."
Right.
And create a better story and see how that feels. Create a little bit of a pendulum effect within that monkey mind belief.
Yeah. Look at the other side of the coin.
Yep.
If you're going to look at the negative side of it, then take it to the opposite extreme.
Yep. And it's the same thing with self-purpose. If your monkey mind's telling you, "I have this," then pendulum it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, my purpose is to just be. I know that.
Yep. Just keep doing you, baby.
But sometimes, we have human elements that pop up.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I'm no different than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so sharing that, I hope helps keep it real. You know what I mean? Because my poop stinks just like everybody else's.
Yes, it does.
And I'm just on here to share what works for me. And like you said with your book, if the techniques that I'm putting out there or the concepts I put out help just one person gain clarity, and it catapults them into a reality that they could not even imagine,
right,
then I have done my work here.
To kind of, I don't remember what I'm trying to say, what word am I looking for to add to that?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah, that's it. No, spell it and then put it in a sentence, please. To add to what you were saying is a lot of the times we will get little trip up areas when we're trying to do that, because there's beliefs that get in the way.
Yeah.
When you're trying to find a more positive, well, I did that before and this happened, or I did that before and this happened.
Right.
You got to allow those beliefs just to release as you do it. And what is it going to hurt? And I say that all the time. What's it going to hurt?
Yeah. Right. Because the mechanism, so sometimes what happens, especially when you see a repetitive things in your life, why am I repeating this?
Right.
People get very annoyed and very aggravated. Why is this here again? I thought I cleared it.
Right.
And you did clear it.
Mm-hmm.
But the universe is giving you an opportunity to re-experience it so that you can create a positive file.
A new history.
That counteracts the negative experience.
Correct.
So that you've got both to pull on as you go along your journey, doing additional things that are branches off of that.
Correct.
Because if you're trying to go in a direction, but you need both the positive experience and the negative experience to pull on out of those proverbial files, but you don't have a positive experience to match the negative one, sometimes you'll be sent down that same path, or what feels like that same path, not to re-experience the negative aspect of it, because you've already done that.
Right.
But for it to turn into a positive outcome to counterbalance the negative outcome, so that you have both file folders to pull from for the next phase of your evolution, your journey, your experience. You need both, but your higher self knows that.
Correct.
And so don't get tangled up and frustrated on, damn, why is this happening again?
Right.
Maybe look at it from that place.
And when I hear the tools, like there's this really famous talk show TV host that always says the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And he's using that in a negative way.
Jerry Springer with the guy that has no legs.
No. And I don't want to say his name on here, but he uses that in a negative way because, like, when he uses it on a show, he uses it in the normally like with cheating husbands or whatever that is. But really, you can look at it with yourself too. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, unless you change the belief.
Right. Exactly.
And so, but it'll give you an investigative tool to say, why am I doing this? Because this was predictable because it's happened before. And you can look at it in a way, if you stop and say, okay, so why is it doing it? Then it's easier to find a step-by-step process for you to understand what's causing you to do this, because we create our reality.
Right.
And if you don't change the history, you can't change the future because of beliefs.
Yeah. So
Kind of.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, kind of.
You actually are.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if I want to go in that direction.
Oh, is your blinker on?
I'm going to change directions.
Okay, we're going to go the other way?
Yeah, we're going to go the other way. So carry on.
Okay, carry on my wayward son. Oh, and so when you stop and look at it and things are happening you don't like, remember that is true. It is true for the best predictor of future behavior to be past behavior is because we don't look at the true story or the beliefs, patterns, and programs behind the historical event. And like you said, the universe will put things out there to give you the opportunity to change history and change the belief behind it. Right?
Yes.
You got quiet on me.
I'm
You
listening.
disconnected. Did you lose your channel? Do you need to go in there?
I need one of the kids to change the channel and hold the bunny ears.
You lost the channel.
No, I was listening.
And
I was waiting to see if what you were going to say.
do you agree with what I said? Personally?
Yeah. So you're not creating history.
The minute you're done with it, it's created.
When you live in the present moment, you're choosing to bring history with you. Like the past is already done.
Right.
And you're a new person in every second.
Agreed.
And because of that, you're choosing whether you bring the past into this new reality with you, or if you create a new
Agreed.
future, so to speak.
Right. I agree with what you're saying.
I know, but I'm trying to make it to where the they out there kind of understands what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
The past is not, it's not your past. It's not where you create from. That's already done and over with.
I agree.
Unless you make an actual concerted choice, effort to purposely bring that crap with you.
Okay.
And if you are, by evidence of feeling like you're repeating, then you've got to ask yourself, what is it that I have to believe to be true for this to continue to be something that I'm bringing over into this reality with me from the stinking past? Why am I not letting go of this luggage and leaving it there? It obviously is still serving some sort of purpose for me, or I believe that it is.
Right.
Because you're actually creating the reality from a future standpoint.
Yes.
So the reality that you're in now came from you daydreaming about how you want your reality to be.
Yes.
Not how it was necessarily.
Agreed.
And that's how you become who you are right this minute. It's from the future, not from the past.
Agreed.
And when you get tired of lugging that past luggage around, you'll let go of it and release it.
Yes.
There you have it.
There you have it.
My job here is done.
And, that is a very solid way of looking at it. And that's what I was bringing up about the phrase, is because when people aren't as solid in their spiritual work yet,
Solid as a rock.
they, I was hoping that phrase would create that doorway for them to go to there.
Right.
And I hope that that's what they understand is this is about identifying what we don't want and what we do want and the contrast between it.
And you said it perfectly, you know, what do you have to lose?
Right. What do you have to lose?
Like, I mean, start creating your reality from the future. Who is it that I want to be? What do I want to experience?
Correct.
Daydream about that and then start doing the steps that that person would do if you were already doing it.
Correct.
And let go of the past nonsense that's not serving you if you truly want to come out of that loop hole or that, I don't know, that just I'm tired of it. Like, drop the luggage, leave it behind, and start daydreaming about who it is you want to be now.
Right. Agreed.
Or what character do you want to play? What do you want to do now? And give yourself permission to do it.
Yeah, and so that's actually where I was taking this podcast to right there, is when you look in the mirror or you're asking yourself who you are, what am I, what is my purpose, where you just have to know that that is literally and always will be an ever-changing thing.
It's an open book, man.
Yeah, you can be whatever you want to be. So you have to ask yourself, change it from who am I, what am I, to who do I want to be, what do I want to be, and create that world.
What am I giving myself permission to be?
That's right.
Or to do, or to have.
Because my truth is this, and my truth is that. And
Right.
so that's where you need to go with it. Who cares about the past? You can't go back and change it. You can only, when things pop up from your past, yeah, you need to handle them. But you can't change the past. You can only change the future. And so why not?
Right. Exactly.
You know, put that out there. Let it be.
And if you've got yourself stuck on not allowing yourself to go and explore that little daydream, figure out why.
Correct.
Why are you not allowing yourself to? Is it because you have some sort of stinking thing stuck in your crawl that says, "Oh, I'm not good enough," or "Who's going to read my book," or "What? I don't have the money to do that." But I'm here to tell you that one of the things that I can share with you is neither James or myself sat down in our life thus far and said, you know what, one day I'm going to be an author.
Not once.
We can honestly say that that's not ever been in my journey.
I have been thinking about it for like the last year.
You have, but not like whenever your parents or somebody came up to you and said, "What do you want to be, little boy?" "I want to be an author."
I said firefighter.
Right.
And I did that and hated it. I did it for everybody like 6 months, 7 months. I hated it. I was a volunteer firefighter. I hated it.
And we just came to a place where we follow the steps and we get inquisitive about what are the possibilities? What is the next thing that we want to do that sounds fun? And we just kind of go with it.
Yep.
And we came across, I don't even remember, honestly, at this point, how the book journey started, but we were just followed the next best thing and the next best thing.
The what?
The next best thing. And we find ourselves here doing this.
Next thing you know, you're doing podcasts, writing books, teaching people everything you know.
Yeah. And you just take it one step at a time. If we had looked at, like, for example, the podcast, if we had looked at the whole construct of what it took to get us to the 500 download mark, it's quite possible that we would have never done it because there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yep.
But we didn't. We took it one little bite at a time and we were like, okay, we don't really know what this looks like. We think it would be fun.
Right. And the podcast, according to their records, is growing, and we've done no advertising at all.
Right.
And it's growing
in a very rapid state,
faster than most podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can remember the first thing that we did when we both decided that we were going to do a podcast is that we went and looked at the equipment.
Yeah, we just went and did it.
We just decided, okay, you know what, we're doing this. So we went to Best Buy, and you had done research on what the best equipment was to do it.
Yes, to start out with, yeah.
And so that
And
was
then
the
I bought the
first
next
thing
level up.
is that we went and we bought the equipment
Mm-hmm.
and we started playing with the equipment and we got comfortable. We got all that set up and we started playing with the equipment.
Yep.
We recorded a couple of podcasts before we even had like our computer platform and all of that
Oh, yeah.
set up. And so we didn't really even have a place to send our recordings. We just did it because we were playing with the equipment and getting used to it.
Yep. Agreed.
And then from there, it inspired you to go on and create our first platform.
Yep. Agreed.
So then we spent, I'll say we because, you know, we are a we. But the reality is you spent countless hours editing.
Oh, yes.
And
it was
figuring
insane.
out how to edit because that was a learning curve. And so hours on hours.
They didn't teach that in school.
Yeah. And I would sit here and I would watch you and we'd listen to it. And I would watch you edit this piece out and edit that piece out. And I would say, oh, you know what? Can we get rid of that little section?
Yeah.
It sounds better if you do that. And we would spend hours and hours and hours doing that. But that's just what we did at the time.
Yeah, I don't
And that
think
was
people
part of the
understand
fun.
what goes into a podcast, man. Some of this stuff is really editing. Of course, I heard nowadays AI is doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
We-
We have an
we got
individual now that we hired,
Yeah,
and
she's awesome.
amazing. And but too, even that we did it ourselves for a good long while,
Yeah.
and then brought that person into our reality. And we were like, hey, we need some help
Hey, can you do this?
because we're
one?
staying up till like midnight, 1 o'clock editing.
Yeah, it was insane.
And, you know, we do podcasts. We do one every Wednesday. We do a
Sometimes
podcast.
on Saturdays.
At time, we were actually doing two to three
Yeah, we're doing
every
3.
single week, plus editing all of that.
Yeah.
And had we looked at that on the big scheme of things, we could have become overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah, totally. And quit.
And so what I'm trying to convey to everybody is break it down into small little pieces and just follow the next interesting thing and don't have an insistent on what it looks like.
Yeah.
There was nothing, you know, in the beginning with our podcast, we had not even come to a place yet where we decided that we were going to upload these guys.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's some.
Oh,
I think there's one.
I've got,
There's 1 or 2 in there that we've never even uploaded.
yeah, I've got like 14.
Because they're, you know, they're kind of out there.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they're kind of a hot mess,
Yeah.
or what we view as a hot mess.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say is when you think about changing your reality and doing something far-fetched,
Yeah.
so to speak, or way far out there, don't look at the whole big picture.
Right.
Take
True.
one little baby step and do that. Even if
agree.
it's just research and read about whatever. Just take that baby step.
And be open to it.
And then the momentum will begin to build
Yeah.
because you'll take that step and sometimes just reading about that portion of it gives you the confidence to take the next step.
Agreed.
And the energy builds.
Agreed.
And then
totally.
you take the next step and you're like, you know what? Let me go buy the equipment because I have an extra $20. I can go buy whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, you know, take that next baby step.
Yeah. Take the steps. I agree. Totally agree with you.
Even like with the writing of the book.
What could it hurt?
The components of it, you know, at first I started with free versions of different
Platforms
things
and-
and platforms that helped me do grammar check and that helped me do the
Yeah.
vocabulary part of it. And now I just send it over to our editor and
Yeah.
and she does it for me. And
It's quite awesome.
it is. It is amazing.
It's fun. But anyway, let the flow go. It's really about the flow of energy and just allowing it to be.
Anybody can be anything that they
That's right.
allow themselves to be.
As long as you give yourself
Just
permission to
break it down into small baby steps.
do it. Yeah.
And I've used this example before. You don't drive a car at night by seeing the whole path in front of you.
Right.
You literally drive this big piece of equipment by being able to see only the amount of road in front of you that the lights
With the headlights,
of the headlights
50
illuminate.
feet, 50 to 100 feet. Yeah.
You're literally driving 50 foot at a time.
That's a good analogy.
And so if you can take your life and break it down like that, what's the next 50 feet?
Yep.
What's the next 50 feet? And stop trying to look past your headlights.
Like it.
Stay within that headlight realm and do the next best thing and the next best thing.
Like it.
Which brings us back to live in the now. What is it that I need to do right now? Even if life feels chaotic and it feels fight or flight, and you have a problem in front of you that you've got to deal with, stop and ask yourself, okay, you know what? Take a calm breath. What is it that I need? What's the next best thing that I need to do? What is it that I need to do right this minute?
Yep. Like it. And then do it.
And then do it. And next thing you know, you look up and you're doing it.
Yep.
And you're a published author.
Look at me, Mom. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
You've reached 500 downloads on your podcast.
Yep.
And you look back and you say, yeah, I followed the steps one step at a time. And here we are.
Nice. Love it.
And you become what you
Want to be.
daydreamed about.
That,
And it's fun and you're doing it and it's amazing.
it's a fun way to do it.
Of course.
I feel complete. Do you feel complete?
I always feel complete.
Well, we appreciate you guys for listening. Hey, don't forget to like, follow, and share. And hit our website up, www.themerckcenters.org. And don't forget my book's on sale now on Amazon and on Kindle. It's the Sales Energy Method, Mastering the Transformation. And it's not just a sales book. You can use it for everyday relationships.
That's right. That's right. And stop holding yourselves back.
Yep. Don't hold yourself back anymore. Realize your abilities.
Somebody out there is waiting for what you have to offer.
That's correct. Hey, don't forget to
ring that bell.
We hope y'all have an awesome day.
Love ya.